Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, we're on Instagram, I hope, today. The username is JKMALONE1 on Instagram. So hopefully some of everybody will be able to see that. I am having some issues again with my camera. There we go. Okay, well, there. Okay, so hopefully we'll get that back. And we'll just get into some of these slides here, and we'll go from there. So hopefully, oh, wait a minute. Let's see if we can get some power to this, and we should be going good there. Hold on. There we go. All right. So there we go, and just get on with the show today. We have kind of an interesting show. The Fed looks like the market is off a little bit, but we are rebounding. We're in earnings season, and I have been buying. I have been buying this morning. I bought a position in Boston Scientific, and then I also did go in and buy some more NVIDIA. So kind of interesting things going on. Let's get into it, and let's get to the slides, and I'll put that up right in a second. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, you can take a look at the show. It is being simulcast on Instagram and on and on and on YouTube at so you can get that easily by going to my profile, clicking the link, and then scrolling all the way down, and you'll see the live version. So here, without further ado, are the slides. Let's kind of go through them really quickly. Basically, the market is the Nasdaq is in a confirmed uptrend. It's kind of a split market today. We've got the Dow down. We've got the S&P up. And we have the Nasdaq up, so that's looking good. That's looking better. Now, of course, the Dow stocks, have been, the stocks that I mostly trade are in the Nasdaq, so that is good for me, but may not be good overall. Just kind of wanted to show you the big picture. This is a column. It's a great little column, and I think you should definitely, if you're a trader, you should take a look at it. You have to be a subscriber to the Investor Business Daily, but I think it's really, really good. So basically, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have been doing very well. Basically, we've moved up. We're above that 50-day line, so it's kind of looking good. At least, we did have a little bit of a scare. So I think we're back. I think we're back on track now. Anyways, I want to show you the stock of the day. That's Lennar, and it's definitely has a pretty. It's working up towards this 110 buy point. Now, most of the home builders are not doing well, but Lennar is the exception, and I think that if you're interested in this area, and this is a potentially very good area. Lennar, LEN, is the one you want to look at. It's basically in a cut base, and the industry ranking, unfortunately, is a little bit low at 123 out of 197, but it has strong earnings per share. Relative strength line is moving up, so it's looking pretty good. So you might want to put this on your watch list down a little bit today. Really don't want to buy this one until it moves past about 110. That's going to give you your best results. That's really going to give you your best results on it. So I'm going to go to a stock that I did purchase today, and it's right in the buy zone. And this one, it kind of surprised me. I've been doing a scan through a lot of shares, and it's very interesting. I bought two companies. I bought a full position in Boston Scientific today. I have not bought this for a while, but it just set up very, very nicely. And I have been moving more into the med tech area. It just seems like that area seems to be getting the love. I also bought PKI yesterday. That's PerkinElmer, and they are a big life sciences company. They make the gene sequencers, so they seem to be in very high demand, and they have some very, very good earnings. One of the reasons why I did buy Boston Scientific, kind of want to show it to you on the chart, is that they had tremendous earnings, and there's been a lot of buying. As you can see, this little Easter egg here, that connotes that not only was there a gap up, but there was incredibly large amount of buying coming in. So this is very bullish. It had stayed right under the pivot, and then yesterday with the tremendous earnings. Basically, earnings were up 400%. 400%. That's where I bought it. So what I like to do is I like to wait for these earnings. I like to pounce on the ones that are moving the best. And right now, this one's set up very nicely. Earnings are up. It's right in the buy zone, and it's in a very good area. The medical products area has been improving. It's 86 out of 197. So it's not. I would like it to be a little bit higher, but this area has been improving. The medical products area has been improving. So I just want to kind of show you, after, I did do a lot of selling on Monday, but now, now I'm back. So I did again. I bought some Nvidia today. It's up about a little over 1%, which is pretty good. 1.66%. Of course, I'm in DocuSign. Everybody knows about that. I'm up again on that. L Brands. It's just really basically. It's only down 2 cents, so it's really pretty much even. Nike, of course, I've had Nike for a while. I've had this for about 30 days, looking good, continuing to hold it, just pushing my stop loss up. Eventually it's going to pull back and I'll be a seller, but for right now, I'm keeping it. Lithium Motors, this is a automobile dealership. Symbol is LAD. This group has been doing very well because of because of the component shortage for a lot of the vehicles. So not the manufacturers, but the automobile dealers are doing very well. Carvana is also very strong in this group. I just happened to buy LAD because I know the company and I think it's very strong. It's up a little bit today, only about a quarter of a percent, but up 86 cents. So pretty good. This other area that has been doing really well in the market is the temporary, permanent help business, and that is Robert Half. It's a leader. RHI is the symbol there, and it's up, about 0.66%. Volume is down, but this is a good one to possibly look at for a good area to be looking at in. Also, I mentioned before, PerkinElmer. This is a gene sequence. This company makes gene sequencing equipment. Very, very good company. Been around forever and a day, and it is also up. Interesting thing about PerkinElmer, this company made the Hubble telescope, believe it or not. So, but they've changed their business model. They are primarily in the gene sequencing life sciences business, and that seems to be been a very, very good area. So that seems to be an area of the market that there's interest in, with all with all the drugs discoveries, is the life sciences area. PerkinElmer is a leader there. Another one you might want to look is symbol A, Agilent. That's another one that's sort of in this area. Also, I mentioned Boston Scientific. I did buy that one today. It's up about 16% in terms of the volume. So that's looking good. Not a whole lot in terms of the price, but the volume is increasing. So that's good. Roku, of course. I do have Roku. I just, I was dropped out of it. I'm back into Roku. Again, they had excellent earnings. It's up $10.56 today. So looking pretty good. That kind of gives you sort of an overview of, kind of where I'm at in terms of the shares that I'm in currently. So let's see. We got the camera back. Good. So that's good. So without further ado, let's take some questions here. Thanks so much for holding on. By the way, I also am going to be putting up if you're a member of the Discord group, I will be putting up details on the Google spread that I did. I did a put spread on Google this morning. Looks very nice. I'm going to put the details up on it hopefully after the show. I do have a consultation at 5, but I will be putting that up. So that's a nice trade. I think you can still get into it. I also have a nice another bull put spread on Snap that I think might be very good. It's after earnings, so it's looking pretty good as well. So without further ado, thank you very much, Nathan. How do you determine if a stock is in a flag pattern for up the flag bull? What does it mean to trade in the channel level? Good questions. All good questions there. Basically, a flag pattern, it's kind of unusual. The flag pattern appears basically on the it appears on the weekly chart. So what you have to do to find a flag pattern, I'm just trying to think of a company that's had a flag recently. Goodness gracious, let me think if I can think of one. that's had a flag pattern. A lot of times these are in stocks that are relatively thinly traded. I'm got to think where, let's see if I can find a good flag pattern. So let's share the screen out here. Let's see if we can get that up. Let me see if I can find a good flag pattern for you. This is an interesting pattern, and one that definitely is, if you can find these flag patterns, they're very hard to find, but if you can find them, they're really, really good. And so let me think on that for just a second. I have to put I think the last time I saw a flag pattern, they're fairly rare, but you see them on the weekly chart. And so I'm going to kind of show you with Boston Scientific. This isn't a flag pattern, by the way, but if this was, and you went to the weekly chart, it would have this flagpole, and then it would have railroad tracks. So I'm thinking, let's see if we can find a flag pattern. There might be one. Let me look at some of these blue dots to see if we can if I can possibly give you a flag pattern. So let's kind of look here. And that would be, I'm trying to think. So that's going to be so that's going to probably be, I'm just trying to think of how I can show you what this flag pattern looks like. Because it's a very interesting pattern, and I'm just trying to think of where we have. Well, here's the thing. Let's see if I can. Let's go to the blue dots. I don't think I have any flag patterns today, but let's see if I can find one that might be close to it. Let's see. All right. No, that's not a flag. Not a flag. Not a flag. Okay. Typically, what will happen? Now, I'm showing you the daily chart, but on the weekly chart, you would go to the weekly chart, and you would look to see. And what it would be, it would be way up here. This would be on the weekly chart. It'd be way up here, and then it would be kind of a flagpole, and then you would see these 3 railroad tracks. So it needs at least 3 weeks for you to have a flag pattern. But when you see that, it's way up, and then there's railroad tracks for 3 weeks. That's a flag pattern. I don't have a really good example here to show you, but that's what it is. You do not, for the flag pattern, you do not use the daily chart. You use the weekly chart. So that's kind of an important thing. So don't use the daily chart. Use a weekly chart to find that flag pattern. So basically what a flagpole is that it'll come way up, and then for 3 months it will trade kind of in what they call railroad tracks, and it basically looks like a little flag, and that's what a flag pattern is. So remember, with the flag pattern, don't look at the daily chart. It's on the weekly chart that the flag pattern happens. Thoughts on CLNE play since Amazon's earnings were killer? Absolutely. Amazon was doing great. I do have a spread on Amazon, actually. I've got to find a new way to display that, to display exactly what options plays I have up, because I'm trying to find a better way to show everybody that. That's Clean Energy, of course. This is T. Boone Pickens' old company. Interesting stuff. It's actually based here in Dallas, which is interesting. A lot of these companies are based here in Dallas. Kind of interesting on this. Right now. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, here's the thing with Clean Energy. It's in a downward trend, so we probably don't want to buy this one. And the reason is, I'm going to put a trend line on it here. But basically what that trend line is that it means it's still falling. So right now it looks like it's closed below that 50-day line. Not a good place to buy this here, because remember, we don't want to buy a stock if it's under the 200-day line. The 200-day moving average is a very critical line, in that this is showing, is there capital flowing into the issue or flowing out of it? Right now, unfortunately, the capital is flowing out of it. So because it's below that 200-day line. So I would be very, very careful buying anything like Clean Energy right now. So your best bet is not to buy this one right now, is to wait possibly for a better condition in the market. Right now, it's trading below the 200-day line, below the 50-day line, below the 10-day line, and below the 10-day line. So right now, the trend is lower, and I would not consider buying this one unless we were able to come up basically to where this trend line is. And I'm going to put that. I'm going to kind of put that in there right here. So unless Clean Energy was able to move above about $11 a share, I would not consider it because it's still in a downtrend. We always want to try to buy things as they move from a downtrend to an uptrend. That's called a reversal, and that's kind of really where we really want to buy some. So right now, unfortunately, with Clean Energy, I would have to say you'd have to pass on it because it just doesn't look like it's the right play right now. So sorry for that. I hope I didn't throw cold water on everything. Let's look at On Semiconductor. This is an interesting company based in Phoenix, of course, and they were doing quite well. The semis. I currently have NVIDIA. Everyone knows that. What I did, if anybody's been following me for a while, what we were doing is we were buying NVIDIA into the run up. It split 4-for-1. After the split, then we sold off. But then now now we're coming back in. It's gaining strength. So it seems like now may be a good time to possibly come back into NVIDIA. Um, you know, that's really the only semis that I have. I did have uh, a, a, a bear put spread on Intel, but I did close that as it moved down after earnings. So the semi area is a tricky area. It looks like we may have a bounce off of the 200-day line. I'm going to go over to the weekly chart to kind of look at it. It seems as if we have this trend. There we go. This is the downward trend. So let's see if we can put an alert on it. And I'm gonna go back and go to the daily chart to kind of see if there's anywhere we can possibly put a trend line. And this is what I'm doing here is I'm drawing a line through the highs here to see if it is still in a downward trend or if it is broken above. Right now it's pretty much even. On semiconductors, pretty much even. It is not confirmed into an uptrend, but it is potentially you could get ready to buy this. I probably would not buy this one though. I want to see it probably move above about 39 because there I think you could actually show that it was a confirmed uptrend. The the checklist is okay, but it is not great. It's only 67. So for On Semiconductor, I think I like to buy stocks, quite frankly, that have a better that have a better look than this. Right now, in that group, really right now the best stocks are not On Semiconductor just isn't there. But we want to look at Rogers Corp. This is potentially one that you could look at in this group. This is in a buy zone. It's called Rogers Corp, and basically they manufacture engineered materials. Basically, it is in a buy zone, but I don't think you probably want to avoid ON On Semiconductor right now. I just think you do. Let's look at AMKR. And I do want to show you some stocks that I'm buying now that you might want to look at. This is, of course, Amcor Technology. It is in a buy zone. This one's far better. There is a buy point on this one at 24.21. So if you were to buy this at this level, I think you would do very well. The earnings per share came in very, very good. This is looking much, much stronger. This is obviously in the chip sector. It's still, the sector isn't doing as well. It's 146 out of 197. So this is still a little bit dicey, but you could definitely move into the stock. You could definitely move into AMKR, Amcor Technology right now. The earnings per share are up. The relative strength is up. Let's look at the checklist to see. Yeah, this is an excellent company. 100% checklist on this one. This is viable right now. So, that's definitely something that you could. That's definitely something that you could do. So this is, this stock is viable right now. And my only concern, of course, with this one is the fact that that this stock is my only concern is the group, but other than that, this checks all the boxes. So Amcor Technologies, this is a good buy point for it. It's right after earnings. You're going to give the longest period. You're going to get the best period of time with this. You're going to get the longest period between earnings cycles. So this is viable right now. Amcor, AMKOR. Let me look that down. Kind of which ones were viable that we looked at today, and I'm going to try to put that on the AMKOR. Okay, great. On this. So this is looking very, very good right now. Thank you very much for that comment, because yeah, I think that's definitely a good one. All right, that's Matt. Thank you. Oh, Snap. By the way, and I want to show you this. I have I did a bull put spread on Snap, and I kind of want to show it to you. Snap is right in the buy zone. It did a breakaway. It did move very, very nicely. It is absolutely viable right now, and the earnings were very, very good. The relative strength was quite excellent on it. But what and let me just show you the chart on it, and then let's get to the then I can show you show you the chart, and then also the put spread that I put on today. But very nice earnings. We're up. Earnings were up 211% on Snap SNAP. Of course, that's the symbol, and it's right above the buy point. The buy point being 73.69. So we're looking very good. I did enter a bull put spread on this one. Basically, the bull put spread. I did enter, and I'll just show it to you right now. So let's take a look at that bull put spread that I did put on. Now, I didn't buy the underlying shares here. What I did is I purchased the what I did is I purchased the this is an options contract. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Oh, I guess that's, yeah, okay. I realized that I had that in a different place. So let me pull up that that contract, and let's get it. Slides. Oh. Let's see if I have the one on Snap. I guess did I do the one? Yeah. I think I put this together here. Snapchat. There we go. Okay, there it is. This is what I did a few days ago on this one, but this is right before earnings, and so let's put that up. Yeah. And basically, this is the trade that I had on Snap. What I did here is I purchased the 65 put. Basically, I purchased 4 of those, and then I sold the 70 put, and of course that's the 17th of September. Basically, this gives us a credit of about 480. So if we were doing just one contract, you divide that by 4, give you $120 there. This is sort of how it looks, and we're moving. As we're moving along, I typically, we did have some good. I think we had some good earnings on this. So let's take a look at I want to see what Snap is selling for right now. 76. So let's go back over there to this one. Yeah. Okay. Oops. I'm moving a lot of windows around here, so sorry about that. Let's see if I could get that in there. Okay, so with Snap at 76, we're basically right about here. So we're starting to get into the profit zone on this one. And of course, we're still a little bit underwater, but we're starting to move into the profit zone. I think if Snap stays at this level or moves higher, we'll be doing well. We'll be doing well with the Snapchat. With the Snapchat trade, I did not adjust it, but this is the sort of the profit, and this is when I entered it. This is what the what the pattern looked like. If you're interested in this particular trade, I think I did put it out on Venny, so you may be able to get it. You may be able to get it there. So let's see if we can go back to. All right. Yep. I've got so many windows here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go. We're back. We're back. So, anyways, Matt, that is the trade on Snapchat, and I think it's a pretty decent trade. I think we're going to do very well on it. It looks like it's lining up very, very nicely. So, if you're on the action trade alerts, by the way, I do put these out from time to time. So, if you want to get on that, super easy to do. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and then first and last name and email address. And we do put out these trades from time to time. I think we did put out the Snapchat trade. I'm not sure, but I may be sending it out. I think you could possibly still enter this. Not sure if you can at this late. It might be a little bit too late on that, but I definitely have a great trade on Google that I just entered as well. So hopefully you're on the list, and we'll get that out to you as well. All right, thanks. Big C. Smaller income. Okay, yeah, this is a Texas company. I know Big C. This is this is one of those. I don't, it's not a Shopify, but it seems to be doing very, very well. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the company. I think it's based in Austin. Let me just check here. All right, so here is the chart for Big C. We were in this downward trend, but it looks like we've moved higher. This is a relatively new issue, as you can see. We IPO'd back here. It's been out for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, so it's been out a while. They have had some good earnings, 41% up in sales, and they're still in a money losing mode. But it looks as if we may have seen a reversal in terms of its in terms of its trend. So if we draw a trend line, we could possibly say that yes, it's turned the corner. It's still a relatively new issue. I mean, with these IPOs, it's tough because typically you kind of have to wait a while for them to sort of start moving up. I wouldn't buy this stock right now, but it has some very, very good fund ownership, 54%. I would watch this one because I do think that this is, it's looking very good. I mean, it's looking very good, but I probably would not be a buyer at this time. I'm gonna put a trend line on here. I mean, you could possibly say that yes, it's moved above that trend line, but I think that I still think it's relatively weak. I want to see it move about 72.20. I really want to see it move up here to about 80. So here's the thing: we're about $10 away on this one. Let's kind of look to see how the checklist is. This isn't a bad checklist. 67% for an IPO is pretty darn good, and we have some very good funds in it. So here's the thing. I don't know if I would be making a buy here. I would definitely do a watch list on this one, though. I think it's looking very good. Still needs to get a little bit stronger. I really like to see it above about 80 before I'd be in it. But very interesting issue. Very interesting issue. Thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate it. Thoughts on Ford's movement? I don't know about Jay. I don't know what is happening with Ford. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to take a look at Ford. Yeah, we've been in this awful downturn. I've been trying to I've bought Ford several times, and I've gotten shaken out every time. We're back into the buy zone, but we're on a downward trend. So I don't know about Ford. I get excited for it, of course, because I see a lot of Fords out there. I think they're a tremendous company, but for some reason the stock it gets to a certain point and then it doesn't move higher. Right now, the 21-day line has crossed below the 50-day line. That's a little concerning to me. We could see a reversal here, but it does kind of look weak. Now, of course, it's earnings tonight. The question is, what's going to happen on earnings? Well, it didn't seem to get any support at the 50-day line, and it's below the 20-day line. So I'm not liking that. I kind of want to see it gets some support. It probably will get support at about 1382, and that was the prior buy point. So it probably will get support there. I just think it's just a really tough issue because it doesn't seem to move as well as I would like it. I just, for some reason, Ford just doesn't seem to move in the right direction. I can't understand it. All right, I had a crazy day today. I think it might be, Nick. I mean, you definitely. I mean, I still think though it's a watch. I wouldn't want to be in it. Uh, wait for a little bit more strength to see if we have a little bit more strength on clean energy, CLNE. All right, let's look at AMD. And of course, AMD is this stock for some reason. I have it. It's just whenever I'm not in this stock, it does great. When I'm in it, it doesn't. But boy, it's looking good. The earnings per share were up 250%. Advanced Micro Devices is looking pretty decent. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And it's definitely in a buy zone. So you theoretically could buy it here. Anything above 95.44 is looking pretty good. And after hours, it seems to be moving well. So yeah, I mean, would I buy it? Well, I already have. I'm not going to be a buyer this time, but the checklist is looking mighty fine. It's 89 on that checklist. So yeah, it's looking good. Now, I want to compare this, of course, with NVIDIA. Of course, this is my favorite, NVDA in the space. And the thing about NVIDIA is NVIDIA does not have a fab, whereas AMD does. So very interesting on that. I still like NVIDIA better, even though it's extended. So hard to say. You can definitely buy AMD at this level. It's looking pretty good on the the charts are looking pretty good on it. All right. Well, I have been talking, and I want to take a question from TikTok, and I haven't done that. Okay, somebody wants to go live with me on TikTok. Interestingly enough, let's see. Sure, I can do that. Why not? Okay. Well, this is friends suggested hosts. All right. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I just thought somebody wanted to do that right away. All right. What about lithium battery technology? Well, lithium, of course, is the lightest metal in the world. It's number 3 on the periodic table. If you're in high school, you remember that. I don't know about these lithium plays. I mean, I see them all the time, but I think that I don't really have any good plays in the mining sector right now. The mining sector has been pulling back a little bit, but let's kind of check in on some of the sectors because that's a good idea to kind of get an idea of where the capital is flowing in the market. So I'm going to go down to the sectors, and of course, the way it's ranked here is that there's 197 different sectors, and with these sectors, this is kind of what the top sectors are and what the top sectors aren't. So let's go to the number 1 sector, and I believe it's E&P. Yes, it is. It's oil and gas, still number 1 after all these weeks. It's been number 1 for a long time. It's amazing how it's held. Let's see if I can pull that back. Coal, number 2. Retail department stores, interestingly enough. Steel producers, leisure products. Let's check in with leisure products because it's funny. This area, I don't have anything in this area, and I think it's potentially a really good area. It's got an excellent chart. So Pool Corp's number 1, and then Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's look at the top stocks. Interesting. Pools, yeah. I think Pool, this stock, I have never owned it. But it just seems to be doing great, and it's called Dick's Sporting Goods. I mean, Pool. Now there is a stock in here that I really do kind of like. It's called Sportsman's Warehouse, and people just really like this stock. It's got an 89 relative strength, and it's in a great sector. The question is, what can it do? Well, it's just kind of, it's not really. It doesn't look like a very exciting stock, and right now it's below the buy point. So I don't know why, but this. So I don't have a good answer for you. I don't have a good answer for you there. But AMD is definitely in a buy zone, and it's good to go. So, yeah, you could definitely buy that. Let's look at TTD. Of course, this is the trade desk. It's split 10 for 1. And we did have a spread play on that. We did pretty good on it. We didn't haven't bought it since. Really haven't bought it since that split. But it does look like it's continuing to move higher. It did reverse. And is it in a place that you could buy it? Well, not quite. It's got an excellent checklist though, 89%. So the question is, can you buy this one? Well, let's go over the weekly chart. It's best to size your buys off the weekly chart. And right now, um, right now it's not really, I really kind of want to see it move a little bit higher before I would buy it again. But it's starting to look very good. I would say about $89. I want to wait until it gets to about $89 on strength, and then I would possibly buy it. Now, let's go back to the daily chart to see if there's any kind of where we can buy it. Well, it's pulled above that very critical 200-day line. Never want to buy anything below that. The 50-day line is below the 200-day line, but it's moving up, so that's very good. I wouldn't buy the stock unless the 50-day line was above the 200-day line, just because that makes a big difference in terms of how to buy it. So I still think you got to watch this one. I would not be a buyer of this one. I would wait for the 50-day moving average to move above the 200-day moving average, and then I would possibly consider it. But I wouldn't consider it right now. Let's take a question from Chick Talk. Sorry, let me take another question, Jeet. Let me check it from I guess from Nick. I guess Nick is, yeah. All right. If Amazon's earnings are killer, like I think CLNE will do great since they're the fuel side. Well, maybe. But the problem is, CLNE is relatively. It is good. I mean, they do. Clean energy does very well with airport fleets and garbage trucks and that kind of thing. But I don't know if you're going to get a huge bounce on it, because the primary user of natural gas is not for vehicle transportation. It's basically for the generation of electricity. So that's the real play that I see in natural gas. Now, right now, the price of natural gas has not, it is going up. So I definitely see that good, but I don't expect a spike on clean energy. Just I don't think there's enough of it out there, really, to make money on it. Unfortunately, I mean, I just think that's the case. Thanks, Ricky, about Tesla. Taking a look at Tesla. I'm so hoping that we're going to see a bounce on Tesla, but I'm not seeing it. Unfortunately, I so wish I was. This is the reversal line. We're still below that. We're right at the 200-day moving average. We just really can't do anything. After hours, it's pulling back. It just seems to be kind of stuck in this zone from about 620 up to about 680. Just for some reason it does. So, earnings don't always. This is one of the reasons why, everybody, I like to sell into earnings, because even though the earnings might be killer, like they were with. Tesla pulled in $1 billion, but remember, it's a very expensive stock. So, and it still doesn't do much. So it's just that way. I mean, so this is one of the reasons why, if you don't have 10% going into earnings, you might want to consider selling it and taking your profits. Right now, there's just a lot of overhead supply for Tesla. There's a lot of people that bought a while back. They're waiting to sell. So every time it gets up anything near about 680, people are selling. So it's a lot of overhead supply. So it's just a tough one. So right now I'm not in. Tesla. But I want to show you some of the stocks on my ready list that you might want to consider. And these are stocks that I have a curated ready list, and I think I might be able to send it out to everybody that's on the list. But this is a curated ready list, and what's great about this is that this list has, it's kind of things that I'm getting ready to buy. So let's kind of take a look at what is on the list. So I'm gonna put this up here, and these are stocks that that I am currently looking at. Let's see if I can show you one. And I bought one of them, Boston Scientific, and I want to show you the other one Now Roku is definitely on the list. I want to show you the chart for Roku. This is one of my favorite stocks. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really liked Roku, and I did buy it here today. I bought a full position. It's right in the buy zone. Everything's looking good. This is the kind of stock you probably ought to be looking at buying right now instead of Tesla, just because of the where it is. Now, there is one other stock that I want to show you that I haven't bought yet, but I think it's eminently viable. It's a little bit extended. I mean, it's just right at the top of the buy range. And this is the investment bank KKR. And the symbol, of course, is KKR. This is one that I think is looking very good as well. It's up just, well, no, I'm sorry. It's off 1 penny after hours. This one isn't. This one is also very good. This is on my ready list, my buy list. I have not bought this one yet, but I think depending on, I probably won't buy it because it's 6 days to earnings. But this is definitely on my ready list. I'm definitely watching this one. So if you're looking for something to buy, consider that. Also, there is a stock that I did buy today. It may not interest you a whole lot, but I really like it. It's called Boston Scientific, and it's up a little bit in the after hours trading. Nice volume on this. Had some very nice earnings. That might be one you want to look at as well. So those are kind of ones that that you could possibly look at for potential buying. All right, Jim, what are your thoughts on the infrastructure budget that's going to pass? Boy, you know what? I don't. Here's the thing with the infrastructure. This is the most unaptly named bill. I don't think it's going to do well for any of the construction stocks. You would think with the name infrastructure bill that it would be great for infrastructure, but really it's just a pork pie. It's not. It has nothing to do with building. It just has to be. It's just basically paying off people that are the loyal donors to the Democratic Party. So I just really don't think. I don't think it's going to do anything. I mean, it's going to indebt this country more, but it's not going to build any new infrastructure. So I wish I could get behind it, but it's looking like a really bad deal all the way around. All right, let's look at thanks. Let's look at Occidental Petroleum, OXY, and this. You know, Warren Buffett loaned. I can't remember the name of the former, and it basically was the end of her career, but she bought I can't remember what her name was. She bought Endarco Petroleum, and she couldn't close the deal. So she had to go to Warren Buffett and borrow for like 13.5%. It was crazy. But Oxy, let's pull that branding off. All right. So Occidental is, it looks like it has this very nice base. There is a buy point, cup with handle, stage one at $30. Currently, it's $28. So I think the chart is starting to look better, but there are some troubling signs, and that is the 21-day line has fallen below the 50-day line, so that's not looking good. And also the 10-day line is below the 21-day line. So what we ideally want to see is the stock to have the 50-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, the 21-day, and the 10-day all aligned up. That's really ideally what we want to see on that. But that's not the case here. But it still has a very strong relative strength, 67, not bad. Would I buy this? Probably not. Probably not. It just isn't quite the right setup for me. Not a bad company, but and definitely have lots of assets in the Permian, but not a buy for me. Now Laredo, similar problem. It's pulled back a little bit as well, but strong relative strength, earnings in 7 days. Right now, this is the number one sector. This is the number one sector. So I want to kind of show you one that I do own in this sector, and that is and that is the what is the name of it? You should know this. All right, it's a royalty trust, and let's see, that's Comstock. Everything. I'm just looking at range resources. Where is it? 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 Okay. Well, I can't find it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to my small portfolio, and let's do that just real quick here. So let's look over the small portfolio. And this one is, let's see, I think that's in one of my portfolios anyways. Okay, there we go. And I think it's in the individual portfolio. And that is Dorchester Minerals, DML. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Let's see if it's letting me see it. Dorchester Minerals. DMLP. There we go. So let's go back to DMLP. Right. Try to move all these things around. DMLP. And this is the one I do have in this group. And I think this is a little bit better. I think this is a little bit better stock than Laredo. I think it just has a better chart pattern, and that is Dorchester Minerals. And I do have it in one of my position in one of my. It does have a better checklist, just slightly. It's 67. I think Laredo was 55 on the checklist. This one, it's still lower. It's still below the buy point. It moved up a little bit today, but this one is setting up pretty nicely. Dorchester Minerals, and it's in the top group, number one. Now, I don't have a large position in this one. I only have a half position in this one, but Dorchester Minerals DMLP. So if you're looking for sort of a let's put that back in. And let's go to the next question. Thank you for holding here. Stocks to buy going into August. Robin, the question on the Robinhood IPO, that's a good question. I'm probably not going to be a buyer of Robinhood on the IPO. I'm going to see how it trades. I typically don't like to buy IPOs when they come out of the door. I like to wait for about 3 months to see how they're going to trade. I do think there's going to be a lot of interest in it, but with the IPOs, I like to wait a little bit and wait and see the trade. About 3 months is typically my time. So I'll definitely watch list this one. Definitely. Okay, can we see the sector ranking? Oh, unfortunately not. I wish you could see this I wish you could see the sector ranking because I use this all the time. I have a software that I use. It's called MarketSmith. It's very, very good, but unfortunately, you do have to pay for it on a monthly basis. I mean, I think you can get a deal. It's a little over 100 a month, but I do use it. There are other ones I've used that are more expensive and less expensive, but it just seems overall, it just seems to have everything I need. So I use MarketSmith. Unfortunately, Thinkorswim does not have sector analysis, but Thinkorswim has a lot of great things. Let me tell you, and for the money, which is free, it's the best one out there. But unfortunately, it does not have sector rankings, and I love sector rankings because that tells me where the money's moving in the portfolio. So, I wish I wish it did. I wish it did. Unfortunately, yeah. Thoughts on buying PayPal? I really like PayPal. I've been buying it. I've been accumulating a position in PayPal. Um, it's a financial stock, and I'm not really that bullish on financials, but PayPal is kind of different. It looks like it's off after hours, so it took a dive. I might be sold out here. Yeah, yeah. We had some bad earnings. We had some bad earnings on PayPal. Looks like I may be stopped out. It looks like I may be stopped out of my position. We're down about 7% after hours. So PayPal has taken it in the shorts. We'll see how it opens tomorrow, but I may be stopped out of PayPal. I put those very, very I put very, very tight top stops. I've got a 10-day. I've got a stop at 300 on PayPal. So when it opens tomorrow morning, I will probably be out of PayPal. So that's just yeah. It took a dump. This is one of the reasons why this is one I got to eat my dog food here. This is one of the reasons why you sell before earnings and then you buy back afterwards. So I'm probably going to be stopped out of PayPal. I've already got my stops in. I don't think it. We'll see what happens. I set them pretty tight, and we'll see. So I'll probably be stopped out tomorrow. Oh well. Yeah, that's what happens. All right. Thanks, Kate, so much. We are almost at the end of the time here. Just wanted to let's see. I think we didn't cover all the. Yeah. Let's take a look at XM. Take a look at some of the last ones and then last tickers, and then we will probably call it today. XM Designs, interesting. I don't know about this stock. This is an interesting stock to me. XM. I just don't really know a lot about it. It's got a good checklist though. I don't really have any. I don't really have any. It's in a little bit of a downward trend, so I wouldn't buy it. But very interesting. I would probably watch this one. Let's look at what factors do you consider for stock to be in the that blue buy zone? Thank you. Okay, that's a good question, Aziz. That's a really really good question. What that blue buy zone is typically I want to see it. It's basically the pivot price. And by the way, if you're looking to see what the pivots are and you don't have MarketSmith, there's an easy way to do it, and it's a site called Earnings Whispers, and it will show you the pivots. It's basically the pivot plus 5%. So let me kind of show you a way that you can find out, what that pivot is, because that's a kind of an important thing. So if you go to Earnings Whispers, I'm going to go over here to Earnings Whispers here, and there we go. And then this is an interesting site. It's basically a site that is sort of totally devoted to to these earnings calls, and so it's a good place to check. I need to check it more. Obviously, with PayPal, I needed to check it more. So because I was definitely wrong on that. But basically, what you do is you go over here, and this allows you even on the free service to put in the number. So let's put in PayPal while we're thinking about PYPL. And I ran up PayPal, and then we had terrible earnings on it. So I hope people have their stops in. Okay, as you can see, here's the pivot right here. It shows the pivot at 357. Well, what you can do, believe it or not, is if you were the blue zone that I'm talking about is this number here, 357 times 1.05 or 5%. So basically what we're looking there, the blue zone based on the pivot at 357 would be basically up to let's see, that would be up to it would be from 300 to 315. That would be your blue zone. So that's a very very good question. But here's a way. I have software that automatically does this for me, but you don't have to have that software in order to do this. All you have to do is go to earningswhispers.com and then type in the symbol that you want, and let's type in another one. Let's type in Microsoft, MSFT. Type that in, and look at Microsoft. You see, this is the Microsoft buy point, 286.36. Okay, so the buy zone would be this number times 1.05, and that's going to give you the buy zone. So that's a very, very, very good question. You definitely want to try to buy stocks in the buy zone if you possibly can, because this gives you support, and it potentially gives you a better likelihood that it will move higher. Interesting. Facebook and PayPal took a dive. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, I have come to the end of the time, and I hope people had stops in here. I definitely had stops in my PayPal positions. I'm probably going to get spanked a little bit on it, but it's all part of the game. I mean, when it opens tomorrow, I will probably be sold out. I'm not going to change my stop losses. Stop losses that I use work only in normal hours. We'll see if there's a recovery before morning. I don't think there will be, but it does look like just like PayPal is going to be down in in after hours trading. So when it opens tomorrow, I'm going to be sold out. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you don't do that. That's one of the reasons why it's always good to potentially sell an issue if you're coming into earnings and you are you are not up at least 7%, 7 to 10%. So I didn't do that in this case. That was one where I kind of messed up. So um, do as I say, don't do as I do. Do as I do as I say. Don't do as I do. So I was caught a little bit on that one. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow um, at um, let me be back at 2:30. So here's the thing: if you want to get on the list for action trade alerts, and I'm going to probably send out something on. Well, I don't know if I can get it out tonight on the Google Trade, but if you want to get on the action trailer, it's super easy to do. Just go to www.dallastraining4. Need your first, last name, and an email address. We'll get you right on there on the list. And if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. Just go to the profile, click on the link, and then go right down to where it says you'll have the first and last name and get on the free action trailer. So until until tomorrow at 2:30. Happy trading. I hope everyone's doing well, and we will see you again tomorrow.